News starts now with breaking news.
We're following some major breaking news across our state this morning. I'm Matt Lincoln.
And I'm Ashley Glass. We have team coverage of it all. Right now, 500 police officers are hunting down a man accused of shooting one of their own in Daytona Beach. Our Kara Duffy's on it from the live desk as that officer is in grave condition in the hospital right now.
But we begin with our Madeline Montgomery. She's live from Surfside, just north of Miami Beach, where an apartment building partially collapsed just hours ago. Maddie, what are we finding out now?
We know one person is dead and dozens of others are waiting to be rescued. I'm going to move a little bit so you can see this building that's part of the apartment complex that this happened at. And you can see firefighters are breaking through the windows to get survivors out of that building. And again, we have video of this situation. And so far, we only know of one death. But first responders tell us that there are people in the rubble of the collapsed building, and they're looking through that. And police say the foundation is still shaking from the collapse. This all happened at the Champlain Tower South while families were asleep in their beds around 1 a.m. And there are around 130 residencies in that building. And there are first responders out here from Miami-Dade, from Miami Beach, from Pompano Beach, all still working on rescuing people. And we are in contact with officials, and when we hear more, we'll let you know right here on CBS, on CBS12.com, and on our social media platforms. For now, live in Surfside, Madeline Montgomery, CBS 12 News.
And Maddie, we'll check back in with you in a couple minutes with the latest.
Also breaking right now, that major manhunt in Daytona Beach, an entire county on lockdown at this hour. Hundreds of police officers are looking for a man accused of shooting one of their own.
Yeah, all of Volusia County is on lockdown right now until police are able to track down the suspect. And this morning, we're getting a first look at the body camera footage.
I want you to take a look at it. Put your eyes on the screen now. These are the moments leading up to it. You see the officer approaching the suspect, Othal Wallace, while he sat in the driver's seat. The suspect then stood up, got out of the car as the officer repeatedly told him to sit back down.
It's after that where Wallace is accused of shooting that officer in the head, who he's now in the hospital right now fighting for his life. Kara Duffy's following breaking news from overnight.
And Kara, there is a reward, a big reward for information that helps him find this guy.
Right now, there is a $100,000 reward out for his arrest. This as the manhunt intensifies really by the hour here. According to the Daytona Beach Police Chief, there is over 500 officers with help from other agencies, all trying to track this guy down. The entire county on lockdown. Here's what we know right now about the man who is wanted. The police chief says they are looking for him. Take a good look at your screen. 29-year-old Othal Wallace. His vehicle, a gray 2016 Honda HR-V with California tags. The tag reads 7TNX532. Again, a Honda HR-V with California tags. Now, as for the officer who was shot just before about 2 o'clock this morning, the chief of police there in Daytona Beach giving us a quick update over Twitter, saying that his hero continues to fight for his life this morning as they continue to pray for him, calling the man responsible a coward. Matt, Ashley.
All right, Kara, we want you to know we are all over both of these breaking stories all morning long, but we need to pull away for just a moment, take a live look outside at 6:03 on this Thursday. It's a beautiful start to the morning outside, Lauren. Look at that.
Yeah, beautiful sunrise over the Jupiter Lighthouse there. Temperatures kind of comfortable this morning, too. We're all in the low 70s, at least most of us are. Nice looking sunrise as well out at the beaches. Tiny shower coming on shore right near Gomez and Hobe Sound there. That's the only rain that I'm currently tracking, but east wind out there today, so we're still going to see the possibility of some rain. It's just going to be moving in a different direction. Front boundary to our north that I was watching yesterday has stalled, but there's still a good bit of moisture in place, so we still have a chance for rain today. It's also the rainy season, so we always have the chance for rain. A new drought monitor will get issued later this morning. I'll have that for you at 9. But southeastern Martin and Palm Beach counties still under that moderate drought. Because it's been so rainy for the past couple of weeks, I do expect some improvement. We're starting to make a little bit of a dent as well. We're only behind on rainfall in West Palm Beach now by about 8 inches. This was close to a foot about a week or two ago. So we're starting to see some improvements, still behind by about 5 inches or so in Vero Beach. And of course, we'll see more rain moving on shore throughout your morning and afternoon, and we'll keep an eye on it through the day. Matt, Ashley.
All right, Lauren, coming up on 6:05, let's take a look right now on our roads here. On-time traffic, and the drive time from West Palm Beach to Port St. Lucie is 40 minutes. That's normal. Not seeing any major slowdowns in Palm Beach County or the Treasure Coast. Meanwhile, our traffic tracker rolling along here southbound Australian Avenue in West Palm Beach, seeing no issues.
It's 6:05, and this morning we are learning new disturbing details about 2 young girls found in a canal outside a condominium in Lauderhill. We're now learning they're sisters. Police are now looking to question their mother. Detectives say the mom was offering to baptize people in that canal. The little girls were identified as 9-year-old Destiny and 7-year-old Daisha. Investigators say Destiny's body was found first. Then 8 hours later, her sister's body was found about 500 feet away in the same canal. The mother's in custody, but no charges have been filed yet. That's a heartbreaking story. Our 6:05 this morning, the city of West Palm Beach is facing a water violation. State officials claim the city may have violated the law by not telling the health department and people fast enough about the dangers of drinking the water. The state says the city had test results showing toxins in the water several days before it told the Department of Health. The DOH says that violates a state rule which requires residents be notified within 24 hours of anything that could be a danger to the public. But the city of West Palm Beach followed the rules to the letter. They cite another state rule which requires that they conduct multiple tests over several days before telling the state of any toxins. And now a spokesperson said the city of West Palm Beach will soon meet with state officials to tell their side of the story. This is all an ongoing investigation. We'll keep you updated. Right now, there are new warnings about the water in West Palm Beach. This comes after the city issued a water advisory last month. So the new warnings say there are high levels of a chemical product that was produced by the disinfectants aimed to treat the water. So right now, there's no boil water advisory for residents, but the city says you might be at a higher risk if you're immunocompromised, a senior citizen, or a child. But the city's stressing this is not an emergency right now. We are staying in touch with the city. We'll update you immediately if things get any worse. 6:07, the drinking water in the city of West Palm Beach, a hot topic right now, and the water crisis was at the forefront of the state's blue-green algae task force meeting yesterday. The assistant city administrator said the city is working with the task force to make sure clean drinking water is provided to all of its customers. But for some residents, there is growing concerns about trusting the city's water supply.
But I just want to tell you, I am one person that I have no idea how long this poisoning is in my body.
Now, West Palm Beach's water plant is one of the few in our area with reservoirs above ground. So when direct sunlight hits the water, algae can form. Now, one expert says a study needs to be done on how much monitoring is going on in the reservoir and what procedures are in place to prevent it from happening again. This all comes as the Army Corps of Engineers only has a few more days to decide how and where Lake Okeechobee water discharges will go. See, during the summer, water released from Lake O into the St. Lucie River and Lake Worth Lagoon can sometimes bring that toxic algae bloom along with it. The Corps says it's developing a new plan on how to release the water so that it doesn't impact, many people. The deadline to pick a new plan is next month. Well, an eye on education now at 8 past the hour, and this morning the debate is continuing about critical race theory in our schools. It was a hot topic at last night's board meeting. Critical race theory is the belief that racism has shaped American public policy, and the State Board of Education recently banned the teaching of it in public schools in our state. District spokesperson says it's never been taught in Palm Beach County, but that did not stop some local parents from making their voices heard.
Over the last few months, politicians have been creating a boogeyman. This boogeyman is called critical race theory.
As for next year's COVID-19 protocols, Superintendent Donald Fenoy says masks and vaccines will be optional when students return to campus. And though field trips will be back, kids can still expect to see plexiglass in the classrooms. 6:09 is the time. Citing concerns about indoctrination, Governor DeSantis signed a new law this week that will require an intellectual diversity survey at Florida public colleges. CBS 12's Danielle DeRoss joins us from Lake Worth to explain why this survey is so controversial.
This survey will ask students and staff at Florida public colleges about their political beliefs and if they feel like they can express them freely. Supporters of the law say that it will help gauge intellectual diversity on campuses, but some critics worry it could actually intimidate people and even stifle debate in classrooms.
You have orthodoxies that are promoted, and other viewpoints are shunned or even suppressed. We don't want that in Florida. You need to have a true contest of ideas.
With his signature on the bill, Governor Ron DeSantis gives college students and staff a new assignment next school year, filling out a political survey to determine if campuses are intellectually diverse and if all viewpoints are presented in classes. The law calls upon the State Department of Education and the University System Board of Governors to craft a nonpartisan questionnaire. Some professors, like Dr. DeAndre Poole at FAU, are already raising concerns about the survey.
This particular survey is a political litmus test. And, it's the politicization of higher education. And I think it's problematic moving forward.
He says there's no need to collect this information, and now teachers could censor themselves in the classroom, fearing fallout from the survey. But many college Republican groups, like the one at FSU, says it will do the opposite and support free speech.
I think it definitely will be really helpful, and I think it will allow a lot of conservative students who are kind of afraid to speak out about things. I think it'll help them gain a lot of confidence and be able to speak freely about the deeply rooted ideas that they have.
The law states that the results of these surveys will be published, but it doesn't say how they'll be used. Yesterday, the governor indicated it could be used to determine state funding. This new law goes into effect on July 1st. Reporting in Lake Worth, Danielle DeRoss, CBS 12 News.
6:11 now. It's a really big week for cruise lines trying to rebound from this pandemic. The test sails out of Florida happening in just 24 hours, and when any one of us is safe to take a trip. And then the CDC just held an emergency meeting. What they decided about any link between COVID vaccines and heart inflammation in young people. I'll update you from the COVID Alert Desk in 5 minutes.